platform is something that has evolved. We talked very early at the beginning of this conversation about how, you know, the technical barriers have come down so much that at this point it's simply a matter of figuring out what is the right application of the capability, not can we do it. And I remember abcnews.com, it's like forever ago, it's like maybe even 10 years ago, I was trying to figure out, well, how can we cover an event live? There's a ruling was coming back on some important criminal case or other, and a colleague of mine, Dave Foreman, said, well, we can cover it live. And at that point, you know, Firewire, none of this stuff really existed. But, you know, he got his little modem together, he plugged it in, and we were able to cover this. It took me probably about a week of hassles to get 2 minutes of coverage. And I think the ratio now is probably, if not 1 to 1, it's getting real close. And that's what I would determine to be a breakthrough, so that the technology is no longer holding us back, that we're able to do what it is we need to do as journalists. And then, of course, another knucklehead idea was I had a guy run the Chicago Marathon with a cell headset. We covered the whole thing. We streamed the whole thing live. And there were a couple of interesting points, but a lot of huffing and puffing, and then there's some weird commentary that went on for about 15 minutes, about halfway through the race. I think he had kind of lost it. But so, to my way of looking at it, I don't know, at that time, that's all we had. And it was very effective in showing what the technology could do, but the user experience pretty much sucked. Because listening to a guy for 4 hours huffing and puffing didn't really cut it. But the point is, you know, where do we go from here? If then that was so much behind where we are today, where are we going to be in a couple of years? And again, I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to start channeling multiple inputs of video live from the community, no matter what it is. And there's a group out right now trying to build this business model around going to all local high schools, training up the students to shoot and produce video, and having them cover every sport event at that school in return for they sell DVDs after the game, you know, online order entry kind of thing. I don't know if that's the model either. How do we get the tools in people's hands and get them channeled and focused to begin bringing that content to us? Because we don't have very many people in our newsroom at all, but specifically who are skilled and equipped to do this kind of thing. So my only alternative that I can see is we need to break out and start bringing the community in to start channeling this in. And of course, that's native to the very culture of online now, is that media sharing. I'd love to hear any experiences where you've been tapping into the community input, whether it's video or photos, but especially with video. Have you had any success with that?
I haven't experienced anyone using YouTube Direct, which allows other users to upload to your YouTube channel.
Oh.
You can, filter it.
YouTube Direct? It's interesting.
We're looking at it.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I guess can you set what the priority of display is?
Yeah.
So I guess with that you could put in a video at the outset, summarizing what the whole story's about, I guess, for news coverage. Maybe I'm just old school, but I think that it's important to give some context around events, and I think if you could do it that way, it might be successful. So let me know how it goes. Any other community video integrations that you've done? Yes.
We had a really bad tornado last year in Murfreesboro, and that was the first and only time so far that we asked for video submissions, and we got an influx. And I was just kind of grabbing them off YouTube, or people were dropping off their CDs, and that's a great example of being able to not only have more raw video of this actual tornado that moved through our community, but allowing our community's videos to be on our website.
That was an awesome tornado. I just saw it was on the Weather Channel last night. They had a big story about it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So one of the things though is building the habit, or building the awareness that there's an intake of all these videos. When news starts breaking, people know that, hey, I can go on the QC Times site, and there's always that submit your video thing right there. We haven't really built that habit or expectation yet. So For example, in Madison, Wisconsin, on Madison.com, we have an iPhone app that we launched, I think it was in November, that at the bottom it says submit a video, submit photo, just so we get people thinking about it. Now someday a clip may come through that may be an extraordinary piece of spot news coverage, don't know, but most of all just to begin conditioning people to that expectation. And moving away from video to photography and digital photography, I think it was BBC website, there's some big fuel tank explosion, a massive plume of smoke. Because they had conditioned their audience to submit spot news photography, they had over 3,000 submitted in the first hour. And so, I mean, think about that for a photo editor. So you're like, all these great images I have to work with now, instead of hoping that the photog coming back to the newsroom has captured some images and will get them in time so they can have a real-time coverage of the event. Are you guys soliciting photos, I would assume, from breaking news? Do you have a little badge on the site or something like that? Seen much come through yet?
With big breaking news, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, not much.
Yeah. Got to build the habit.
You're talking about video, and I've seen the same thing happen with a major news event, something that somebody happens to capture with video.
Mm-hmm.
They'll send it in. We have a lot of video on our site anyway, so they're used to going to see that. Back in 2005, when I was still in Naples, Florida, Hurricane Wilma came on shore.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we had tons of video cameras out covering it, but we also got something like 35 video submissions then.
Mm-hmm.
Help tell the whole story
Right.
of the hurricane, but other than that, you know.
Especially with a dispersed event like a hurricane coming on shore, I mean, you got people up and down the coast with different experiences. And so, and again, that geolocation capability with the videos makes that a cinch. It's so much easier to catalog or organize stuff, much like Flickr does with photos, based on that geolocation of the video camera, actually the device. So I think we ought to go to Mercury, get this built so we can start doing real-time production work in the field. Yes?
I just have a question about what he's doing as far as photos. Is everyone using Flickr, or people using a different situation with their website?
It's built into our content management system.
Mm-hmm. We've done that in our CMS also, both photos and video with YouTube. Again, though, I'm still struggling with that. Old school guy. And I guess that when we start talking about video, 2 years ago, when we decided that it was important for our newsrooms to get really proficient at video production, we went out and understanding that we have more than 50 newsrooms to feed, spent almost $3 million with each site coming in with their requests for tripods, lavaliers, video cameras, editing booths. And I look back now and it's like, dang, we didn't know about the flip camera. And so, you know, they have all these really nice high-def cameras, and then you can go over to Costco or Best Buy and pick one up for a couple $100. So as I look forward from here, and with your insights, I'd appreciate if you can help me avoid that $3 million bogey again. What is it that's going to come next that's going to make it even easier? Is it going to be our iPhones, continue to improve, or other mobile devices, the quality of the video? I would think that's the most logical thing. But